I mean, Vic, you and I have been in plenty of bands, and you know what that toxic. All you need is
Yeah.
one member, man, and it really can just fuck up the whole thing. You know.
I've been fortunate enough to not have to, we've had a few people, and I mean, I won't mention any names just because I don't know, maybe you'll use this as bonus material on a DVD someday. But I mean, like, I've had people where it's just like, oh my dude, what the hell's going on? So usually
Right.
it's me. I'm the one who's like super business, all work and no play, and I'm super stressed out. And that's how I used to be early on in my own personal career. And I learned that, like, dude, you just got to kind of let things go. It is what it is. You go do what you do, and you do it the best you can. And if that's that, that's that. You did your best. Have fucking fun, because someday you're going to be an old guy that doesn't sleep and his back hurts all the time.
Uh-oh.
There we go. All right. Hey, there you are.
There he is.
Hello?
Hey, how's it
Yes.
going, Matt?
Hey, how's it going?
All right.
Good. We are so glad that you could join us, man.
Hey, thanks. It's so good. I finally made it work.
There you go.
Great.
Hey, Matt.
Comedy of errors. Hey, how's it going? Hey,
Good, brother. Good.
Excellent. Yeah, I thought you lived on the East Coast. Are you in Texas? Or
yeah, I'm in Texas. I'm from the East Coast, but I live in Texas.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Because we were all worried, because earlier today we talked with Nibs Carter of Saxon, and we were like, does Europe have a daylight savings? We're like, oh my God, what time do we talk? So yeah, that first day of daylight savings always kind of throws us off. Oh, well, cool, man. This is we're really excited to get to know you a little bit tonight, and we got all kinds of good questions for you, and we got some fun games, some silly stuff.
Representing. Yeah.
There you go.
Representing.
Nice.
I hope I pass.
Oh, your audio's breaking in and out there, Matt.
Oh, is it? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sketchy right now.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's okay. You guys sound great.
Excellent. Okay, cool. Well, my dad always said I had a face for radio, so that's probably part of it. So excellent. Yeah, that's good, man. We're really glad. We've been really excited to talk with you, and we're gonna do our cheesy intro that Dreadbull loves so much, and then we'll just start and have a great conversation.
All right, cool.
Excellent, cool. All right.
Hi, guys and girls. Congratulations, you found heavy metal horror. Enjoy.
I am Montag, master of illusion. What goes up must come down, but not always.
Hey, I'm Chop Top. Stay heavy, because this one's going to be sharp as a diamond.
Oh, boy. And Dreadbull.
Hey, I'm Mushroom Mike.
And you are listening to and watching Heavy Metal Horror. Oh, kiddies, tonight we are going to have a great show. We have legendary drummer Matt Thompson of King Diamond, Synchronicity, and Shaolin Death Squad. Matt, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is going to be so exciting. I've got so many questions to ask. So we're gonna get right into it. We got some good games we're trying out, and we're just gonna try to have fun and do something that's not like your traditional, just your Q&A. But we will start with some basic questions, like how did you first get into music?
Wow. Okay. Well, both my parents were musicians. I grew up with my mom in New Jersey. She was a violinist, and playing an instrument was kind of required in my family, my extended family, also, it was just kind of a thing that every kid did. But in my neighborhood, I guess like you could say the alpha male that hung out with our, out with, he played the drums. He was a year older than me and like four other kids, and he started playing the drums. And then we would spend our afternoons kind of playing on his drum set and playing beats and stuff. And then when I got into fourth grade, I started taking lessons because I was just kind of into the drums. And then I wanted to quit actually in fifth grade, but my mom wouldn't let me. She would not let me quit. I was just sick of carrying the snare drum on the bus. And I didn't quit, and I didn't decide I really want. I didn't decide to take it seriously until I was 12. I was into Rush a lot by that time, and my dad got me backstage for my first concert, which was Rush Signals tour, at the Spectrum in Philly. And back then, Rush would play twice. They would sell out 2 nights at the Spectrum.
Wow.
So the first night with him, and I got backstage, and I got to see Neil Peart from like 10 feet behind the kit, and then we went in the front row, and then we went to like the second level, opposite the stage. It was just a mind blower. And then I went the second night, and that's when I decided I was going to be a drummer.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's awesome. I've never got the chance to meet Rush. That was like my bucket list band. But you've been mentioned you got tired of carrying your snare drum. Did you have like one of those old Premier snares in the black case with the xylophone and all that? Is that how you started too? Because that's how I started, with a snare drum and the practice pad and the xylophone.
Yeah, cool. We didn't have a xylophone back then. That would have been like 77, 78. I don't know.
Yeah, same year, 77, like fifth grade for me. Yeah, the guy comes in, does the big spiel. What instruments do you want to play? And all my pals were like, I thought, but I'll do saxophone. And that was all taken. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do drums, just arbitrarily. So yeah, I did learn one song on that little xylophone. Oh, When the Saints Come Marching In. So there we go.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, and once you've seen Rush, you don't look back. Was like one of your early influences on your drumming was Neil Peart?
Yeah, among many others, but then after that concert, Neil Peart became my, or Peart, yes, we know it now, it's Peart, but he was, I guess, one of my top 10 influences for the next 8 years, probably, somewhere around there.
Wow. Oh, that's
It's
cool.
so many influences, like
Mhm.
from this and that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, obviously, you're now that I know that backstory, I can see now why you may be drawn toward bands like your Synchronicity and Shaolin Death Squad. There's all this prog rock influence. So is that something that those projects you do like because they're pet passion? You just enjoy that prog, or is it gives you a challenge in a way that other musical styles don't?
Well, hard to explain. I've always loved prog. I've always loved all different kinds of styles, and I've always kind of said yes to every opportunity that came way. So a lot of these things that I've done, that besides King Diamond, they've kind of been opportunities that came my way. Nothing I really started myself. I need to correct you on Synchronicity. I don't know that I'm still a member of Synchronicity. We just did that one album.
Okay.
And then it just kind of didn't really do anything after that.
Okay. I was doing a little scouring on your webpage, and I didn't want to learn too much, because I wanted to find out some things, but that was how I came across these bands and like got a chance to listen to them. Like I was not expecting that kind of prog and Shaolin Death Squad. I had never listened to them before. So, but it all makes sense, that prog influence.
Well, I'm going to give my webpage some attention, because with media, that's kind of where I put my attention, and that my webpage is underserved.
Well, speaking of your webpage and some of your other side projects and stuff, while I was looking at your bio, something caught my attention that I thought was real interesting. It mentioned in 2007 you were nominated for 2 Grammys, and one was for Best Metal performance with King Diamond for Never Ending Hill, and then the other was for Best Polka Album. That
Okay.
that, that one kind of shocked me. Tell us about your your polka Grammy nomination.
Explain it. Well, there's a band here in the town that I live in. The town's called Denton, Texas, and by far there's an institution called Brave Combo, and they have multiple Grammy nominations for best polka band in the world, and not just polka. They kind of do like a whole bunch of different world styles. But I'm friends with them. I've known them for a long time. I've subbed with Brave Combo, and the reason that happened is because I've done some sessions with Carl, the leader of Brave Combo. He's actually in the Polka Hall of Fame, and I love that music. You know, what can I say, man? If you don't love polka, what's the matter with you? He would call me up for some sessions, and sessions I did, he took one of the songs I recorded and used it on a Brave Combo album. So I'm just on one song on that album. It's called Polka's Revenge, and that ended up getting for a Grammy. So I kind of sneaked in, you know.
Gotcha.
Sneaked in.
Hey,
That's great.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, I love musicians that aren't afraid to just try anything, you know, any genre. That's fantastic.
Cool. I'm glad you brought that up, man. Cool.
Yeah, that really caught my attention.
Now, Matt, you also have I read also in the bio, you have a degree with jazz music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the reason I'm in Denton is because I went to the University of North Texas that's here in Denton. And it was 2 weeks after I graduated that King Diamond called me when I was deciding whether to go to LA or New York. Yeah, King called me and kind of decided that my next step for me.
Yeah, you can't say no to that invitation.
Yeah. Right.
I was just going to ask, like, how was that phone call? Like, Matt, it's your grandmother. You know, like, how do you get what's that like to get a call from King Diamond? Like, how, you know, do you remember like what was said in that moment?
You know, it's a clear night, and then when he called, there was like. But he first called, he just wanted to meet with me. And I went to his house and met up with him, and he showed me the tour schedule. He needed a drummer for the next tour that he was doing, which was the second part of the House of God tour in Europe. And I kind of freaked out, you know, inside. I stayed calm on the outside, but it was like all of Europe and Russia and Turkey and Greece, and there was like no country left untoured, you know. And it was all my dreams come true, man. Wow. I've always been in a history, and I've always been in the, you know, military history and that kind of and metal, and I wanted to always tour, you know, with somebody like that. And so yeah, I said yes, and that was it. And that was around August, September, November area. So I said yes, and he said, okay, I'll call you. We're looking at some other guys, and I'll call you in 2 weeks. And a month and a half went by before I got that final phone call, you know, saying that I was in. And yeah, I had a roommate at the time, a roommate Bud, and every time the phone would ring, you know, I was the first one on the phone every time.
Yeah,
It was exciting, definitely.
How did that connection happen? How did he come to get your name and, you know, even invite you in the first place?
Well, you know, it's a long story, but to try to make it a little bit shorter, I was playing with a death metal band in Dallas called Truncator. We did our demo at a studio in Garland, Texas, which is part of Dallas. And the guy who produced it and engineered it, Chopper, he recommended me to a guy named Michael Harris, who's a shredder guy from Ohio, but he was living in Texas at the time. And he does like a lot of prog and shred music, and I ended up playing on a few of his albums. And the session we did was for his band called Surgeon, which is a kind of a classic heavy metal with some prog elements. And it came out really cool. And anyway, I think it was either being played or something, maybe mixed or mastered, or at Nomad Studios. Something was going on with that. Well, anyway, with Nomad Studios is another studio here in Dallas that I was doing a lot of work for. I was playing on a lot of stuff there, and while I was in college, um, I was doing a lot of work there, and the owner, who was a friend of mine, who called me a lot for jobs there at Nomad, he told me one day that yeah, King Diamond heard you're playing and said that he thought you were a really killer drummer. So I was like, man, Gary, if he ever needs a drummer, tell him to call me. And he did 2 weeks after I graduated.
Wow.
That's kind of how that went down.
Wow,
That's
incredible.
awesome. I mean, the circumstances and fate, merciful fate, to lead you to that. That's awesome, man. It's like a dream come true, for any drummer, really.
It was a lot of hard work and dues paying that kind of led to another thing, to another thing. It was not an overnight success.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, speaking of Diamond, Abigail too was. I know it's the first album you recorded with Diamond. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. I think it's one of his best. And your drumming is really exceptional, especially like on songs like "The Storm" and "Spirits." Those quick double bass flourishes and those offbeat rhythms, I think elevate the whole album. And that's you're stepping into some big shoes, with Mickey D and these other guys. So can you talk a little bit more about like your creative process when it comes to your drum parts?
Well, it's a grind in the studio. Like they want to hear all my ideas. And we kind of went riff by riff, to see what worked best for the riff. It was definitely a challenge in a lot of ways. I don't want to say too much, but kind of going riff by riff, trying out all different fills and stuff. It was long days of playing things over and over and over again. And when we do that, when we record, like I don't know where the words are going to be, like where the verses are, or where the choruses are, anything like that. We just kind of do it riff by riff. So that I thought that was a big challenge, but other than that, it was a pretty good work environment. I was really excited. It's kind of a blur, and it was at Nomad, so that helped because it was like my home base studio. It was King's home base studio too for a lot of years. But by the time I got into the situation, like they had their process pretty well snugged up, kind of stepped into that process and just tried to really just tried to be professional about it, just tried to be a workhorse and I was young, so it wasn't really a problem for me to play all day like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was used to bloody hands and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how that is.
That's great. It surprises me that those parts of the songs were there and not like a complete song like Here It Is, and then you just kind of jam to it. But that's a really interesting process. I would be really challenging.
It's challenging. Most recordings I've done is with bands is when it's after we've rehearsed the stuff a lot and I knew the parts.
Mm-hmm.
And we go in and it's a situation where I can just play the song front to back, but that wasn't the case with these sessions.
Is that the way it's continued to be throughout? Is that how that you guys always record?
Yeah. For the Puppet Master, it was the same thing, and for "Give Me Your Soul, Please," it was also the same thing. The last song we did, Masquerade of Madness, I did at my home studio, so that was a little bit different. And it was after we had played the songs through that first tour in Europe. So I had a chance to kind of develop it, but it ended up being closer to the demo anyway. But I did that in my home studio, so that was like really cool. It was definitely different than the albums.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, you've been playing with, for such a long time with Diamond, nearly 20 years now, and shared the stage with countless other great bands. Can you talk about situations where you met some of your musical heroes or the bands that you were fans of, and what that was like finally getting to kind of meet and kind of rub shoulders with some of these people?
Yeah, crazy. It's just crazy. We toured with Slayer in 2015 as a part of the Mayhem, as some energy drink, Rockstar, and we opened for Slayer every night on that tour, and I was such a fanboy, man. It was like a dream tour. We played for I think 45 minutes. Our set went by like that, so I was able to like just sprint through the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, and then afterwards it was like, well, I guess I'll have some free beer and watch Slayer again. Yeah, that was really cool. Toured with Exodus in that same year. Yeah, I think that was 2015. We toured. That was a dream come true. Just getting to know those dudes and hanging out with them, just crazy. Yeah, like people you meet in the catering halls at some of the festivals. It's just like everybody. You go into these catering halls and you're like, wow, Testament, and there's it's just like everybody. It's like, holy crap. Man.
As a fan, do you feel awkward like going up to them, or are you thinking, okay, now I'm in King Diamond, I've kind of made it? And do you feel, was that, or was it still like you're approaching them like you would be like a fanboy? Was that still inside of you like, oh fuck, it's Testament, how am I going to go talk with Chuck Billy?
Right.
Is that how, I always wondered about that stuff.
Yeah, I'm able to stay pretty relaxed, I think. I freak out, but then I have these things that I tell myself, like, just people, they fans at a time. Yeah, but the excitement's definitely still there, like, especially like the first few festivals that we will do on a tour, like when the summer comes and I go like to the first festival and I'm like, wow, there's like Trim from Emperor, like there's his drums, holy crap, like, having a conversation with them, and pretty awesome. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know, it's starstruck, really. I did freak out a little bit with Black Sabbath, when at Grass Pop played on a lot of these festivals will have two stages side by side. They're both main stages, so like one band is setting up while the other one's playing. And we played right after Black Sabbath, so we were the only band and crew allowed on the stage next to Black Sabbath. Everybody else had been blocked out. They made everything off limits. And like those were the bands like Black Sabbath, you don't hobnob with them in catering, you know what I mean? Like, on stage, and before Black Sabbath played, I went on stage. I saw just Iommi's row of SGs, of his guitars. I just got goosebumps, man. I was like, oh my God, these are Tony Iommi's fucking guitars, the little things.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Speaking of like venues, did you play, like, do you prefer like a smaller intimate venues or larger arenas? Like from a fans point of view, being close to a band is fantastic. So, what's it like being in the band, being that, with fans all around you, or do you like those big stadium festivals, or is there a difference for you?
I like before I switched to in-ear monitors, there would be a big difference. Having to do with sound and how easy it was to hear things, and dot the I's and cross the T's musically. Now with in-ears, they're both kind of the same. It changes a little bit, but I'm able to dial it in pretty well at sound check. But on some festivals we don't have sound check. But nonetheless, like our crew is so good, and we've been doing this for so long that it's not a problem. And I would say that there's pros and cons to both situations, but mostly different kinds of pros to both situations. I love having the huge audiences because the adrenaline is like, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. But yes and no. I'm pretty relaxed. After the first few shows, when you kick the dirt off the heels, it gets pretty relaxed. And in that context, I love the smaller venues because I love making eye contact with people, and I love like kind of goofing off a little bit with them. I got that from Alex Lifeson. If you ever been with a Rush show,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's like having the time of his life, but they all are. You can see that. And there were a couple times where when I saw Rush, where I got to see Neil Peart like smile. I'm like, oh, okay. That was like seeing Bigfoot or something. It was quite amazing. But enjoying themselves and having fun together. That's awesome. That's great. I'd like to play a game with you, Matt. If we're gonna do a game, we're gonna be called Name That Festival.
Oh, you're breaking out the big wheel. Here it comes.
I'm gonna let's see if I can share it. Hold on, I gotta get to it. Give me a second here.
Spin the wheel.
He makes a good Vanna White.
Yeah, I'll take that. All right, there we go. So I'm going to share my screen, and here's the here's the premise, Matt. Can you see the wheel?
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. King Diamond is playing at a festival with two bands. We're going to find what two bands are playing, and then I want you to come up with the name of what that festival is going to be called. Okay.
Real festival? Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you make up the name, whoever, depending on who the three bands are playing. I want you to invent the name of what this festival would be called. All right. So it's King Diamond, and who's the first band? Motorhead.
Motorhead.
Nice.
Very nice.
Okay.
Oh, all right. This is shaping up.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on.
Maybe if Dolly Parton will be the next one. That'd be great.
Elton John.
No,
Taylor Swift. Okay.
Oh.
King Diamond, Motorhead, and Taylor Swift. What a show.
Wow.
Okay,
What a show.
Matt. Name that festival.
Name that festival.
No.
Oh my God. What would you call that?
Yeah.
You'll have time to tailgate festival.
Yes.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Good one. Good one.
Fantastic.
Good answer.
Thank you so much. Speaking of festivals and life on the road, I mean, you've lived a good deal of your life on that, touring and things. So what are some of the craziest or most interesting stories that you can, like your most outrageous life on the road stories that you feel like you can share without getting anyone in trouble? Or if you want to get someone in trouble, throw them under the bus. That's fine
Hey.
too.
Yeah.
So your call.
Your call, man.
Your call.
Yeah,
Might be time to out somebody right here.
that we used to drink a lot, man. I think back when the first years that I was touring with King, the crew and the band stayed on the bus together. We just had one bus. Now we travel in two buses. The band has its own bus, and it's a lot calmer than what I imagine the crew bus is now, because the crew is a lot younger people. So back then there were just some crazy times, man. There was one night, God, oh man. No, can't say that one. No, can't say. Almost so close, but no. Yeah, I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, you could say a certain person from a certain band, or you don't have to. That's cool. We don't want to
The names have been changed.
Yeah, we don't want to put you into a position where it's awkward for you at all.
No, not at all.
We just like hearing these kooky stories. With people we've interviewed, they will just tell us like a crazy story that happened, and we're like, oh, because it's one of those kind of rock and roll things. That's always funny.
So what's your favorite story involving King?
My favorite one? God, it's such a tough question. And I should
Okay,
rehearse.
maybe top 10. It doesn't have to be the best if it's I can imagine.
You know, one great thing that stands out was just getting to go to and headline at Wacken in Germany. I've always been fascinated with that festival because it's one of the biggest festival. I think it's the biggest festival in Europe. I think it's anyway. There's a bigger one in Poland.
Yeah.
That's free, but Wacken is the biggest regular festival in that sense, and that was just freaking awesome. Wacken, the backstage is the size of the full their first festival, maybe their first few, but their first festival, the whole entire festival grounds was what the backstage area is now. So it's like this catering and booths, and there's like a smoothie booth, and there was like a couple massage booths. It was huge and really well done. Just really cool. And when we first got to Wacken, our main sound guy is one of the guitar players in Hammerfall, and
Okay.
easily the best sound guy I've ever heard in my life. Like, he's so good, and he's one of the best guitar players too. Super nice dude too. Anyway, and when we first pulled up in the bus, we got out, and I was like, they said, okay, that's the main stage. One of them, that they had the two stage setup, and Hammerfall was playing when we first got there. So I walked up on the stage and Hammerfall was in the middle of playing, and I had no idea how massively popular Hammerfall is in Europe. They're just not that big in the States. They're considered cheesy or whatever. But man, I went up on stage, and 120,000 people have their fists in the air singing along with their songs. They were playing Hearts on Fire.
Yeah, you're going to be hard pressed not to sing along with Hearts on Fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
massive, and yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It's kind of a cool story,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's awesome. What song do you like playing live best? Like your favorite song? Like, you get to a part in the set, like, yeah, this is my song.
I don't know. I love them all. I really do. I love playing all of them. And some ones that stand out that people might not really think would be my favorites. I think one was Up From the Grave. King's got these like deep cut songs that aren't really the most popular, but that I think are so awesome, man. Another one was Sarah's Night from Voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just twisted and evil and kind of slow, but just real atmospheric kind of thing. I kind of get into those songs that are different. On the last couple of tours we did, Behind These Walls, which I'd never done before with them. It's from the eye, and I think a lesser known song, and I just loved it, man. I love playing that song. Just so like there's not one wasted bit of space. Every riff is like leading into the other awesomely.
Oh, that's great. And fans love that too. I mean, I love hearing these deep tracks and things you don't expect. Like, to have them pull out a song, like One Down, Two to Go or something. It's like, I don't always hear that song. That's always really exciting. Or and as part of that, is it King who puts the set list together, or does like everyone contribute? Like, do you say, man, I want to play this, or does everyone kind of pitch into what the set list is going to be, or does it change throughout the tour?
No, and it's King and Andy, I think, who put it together, and I think King has the final say. I remember being asked a couple of times, is there anything you definitely want to play, but honestly, I just leave it to King, man. With the almost 40 years successful career, I believe the concept of too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't want to really complicate his thought process. I leave that to him.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Is King Diamond as interesting behind the scenes as he is on stage, or is he like a Mr. Rogers? Does he put on a cardigan, and slip on some comfy shoes, and sing a song? Or is he? He just seems like a very interesting character. Is he like that behind the scenes too?
Well, it's like I say, it's all business with him. If there's a days off. Sometimes when there's a few days off, like 3 or 4, I've seen him have like 1 beer or something like that. Like I'm not drinking at all these days. And we haven't been on tour for a couple of years. 2019 is the last time we toured. But generally speaking, I would say he's had his family on the road for a long time, so he kind of keeps to himself. I've had some awesome conversations with him, back in his lounge here and there. But mostly we're all kind of keeping to ourselves.
Gotcha.
Sort of, in the cities, when we stop, lately it's been mostly me and Pontus. Every city I go to, I want to go out and explore. I want to see what's going on with the city. I like to walk around and I like to do things. And Pontus has the same kind of mindset, the bass player. So we do a lot of that. Jody is also of that same mindset. And the other guys here and there too. We all search out Indian food and sushi. Wherever we kind of our main hobby, is looking for good food.
Nice. Yeah, King's just such a giant presence and so eccentric on stage and stuff. I just wondered, like what is does that carry over? Is he just always like that? Or, does he always does he sleep with his makeup on? No.
Yeah, he's going to be coming on the show. We're on the docket for whenever the new album comes out, and that's something we wanted to talk to you about. But so we're all really excited to talk with him, sometime early next year. So that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, how is the new album coming along? We are really looking forward to hearing more of this creepy story.
Yeah, I know the story seems pretty creepy. Yeah, how much to say about the album? Everything, all the news about the album, you would have to get from the interviews that King and Andy do.
Okay.
I haven't recorded anything new yet for it, and just still kind of waiting on that. King's latest timeline has the album out, I think, fall of next year, fall of 2022. I think that's we said in the last interview.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm assuming there's going to be a big tour after that as well. So that'll be really great to see back on the road and hopefully come to Cleveland. That's where we're all around in the Cleveland area, and it'd be really great to see you guys.
Cleveland. that Drew Carey. You ever see his stand up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, Parma boy.
What's that?
Oh, sorry,
He's
your
from
audio's
Parma.
Yeah, he's from Parma, Cleveland area.
Yeah.
Yeah, your audio was breaking up there, Matt. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was talking about Drew Carey. I'm from Cleveland.
Nice.
And we had, there was one night in Cleveland that was so crazy. There were strip clubs on the river there, right? I don't know if they're
Flats,
still there.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about all I'll say about that.
The story ends there.
That's right. Let's just say it got paid in singles that night, right? Intense. Oh man, that's great. That's great. So, Matt, what's the one thing you love about being in a famous band?
I think maybe just that. I think, it's like I've always wanted to be a drummer, and it's like just being a drummer at a really high level, and just getting to be able to experience that, just to be experience, having a drum tech and not having to worry about drum heads and drumsticks, and if I break a cymbal, and also like having a monitor guy, it's all these little things that I love about it. Like I love just showing up at the venue and walking in and seeing like the potential energy of the empty seats, and wondering what the catering's going to be. I love food. And I love hotels, and I love traveling and seeing new places. And I love, I'll be honest with you, I love the attention. I love the attention of being the drummer in what's usually the headlining band. I feel like I've worked my whole life towards it. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I still pay my dues. I still play local gigs, and I love playing all gigs and stuff. That's just another facet of my career is being able to do that.
Oh, that's awesome. Now on the opposite end, what's the thing you love least about being in a famous band?
Well, right now it's leaving my family. That's the worst part of. That's the worst of anything I've experienced in the band. Just the stress of that, of knowing that my family's not home with that. Other than that, you know, I used to love traveling on the tour bus because we would drink a lot, you know, and party. It was a party. But now that I'm not drinking, I'm getting more stuff done. Like the last couple tours, I studied for my ham radio license, and I'm acing it because I had all that time to study.
Nice.
Yeah, and I get a lot of reading done, you know, but it can be pretty monotonous. You know, you just feel trapped on this bus for hours and hours. So that kind of sucks. But I'm searching for things, man. I love touring. I've always loved it. I've always gotten really depressed when they end.
Yeah.
That's so great you mentioned ham radio. My dad's been a ham radio operator since he was a teenager. So my whole life, he's always had his ham shack, you know, his room in the house with all his gear set up. And yeah, he's been a ham operator for forever. That's pretty cool.
You know, love us hams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I remember Dreadbull and I have been friends for over 40 years. And I remember going over where his dad was doing like a 48-hour, you know, how many people can you talk to in 48 hours?
It's happening right now. The November sweepstakes is going on this weekend, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
that's a big ham radio contest. Yeah. So
nice.
It's a big weekend for it right now.
Cool. All right, Matt, I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question here. Okay. An alien shows up, you know, extraterrestrial, and asks you to represent metal in 3 songs. What would those songs be and why? Oh, I've heard them. I broke them.
Uh-oh. This is agonizing.
Mm-hmm.
Songs that represent heavy. Is it?
Yeah. Any way you define metal is fine. From hair to extreme, you know, however you want to paint that.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so crazy. You know, I'm gonna give you 3 answers, and then like I'm gonna later tonight. I'm gonna.
Yeah, just give me a
That's
call. We'll bring you on next week
because the answers were wrong.
Yeah, we'll bring you back on next week and say, "Oh, here are my 3 new answers."
Yeah. You can
Metal Gods, Judas Priest.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That'd be number 1 for me. Represent heavy metal.
I love that you're giving this so much thought.
Yeah.
Right.
Like 20 more, like right off the bat. How about? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do like a Rorschach. Balls to the wall, accept, and Shout Out the Devil, Motley Crue.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, giving some respect. Yeah, some props to Motley Crue. That's a great album. You know,
That's a terrific album.
yeah, it is.
I'm impressed you avoided like Black Sabbath. Everybody answers Black Sabbath of some sort, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Something a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, you know, now that you say that, I guess actually Black Sabbath from Black Sabbath should be number 1.
Oh, there you go, Dreadbull.
No,
Oh, sorry.
We're all gonna get probed tonight,
That's
man.
going on next week's show, Matt. So,
Well, following up on that alien question, the alien race decides to attack the Earth. You've got 1 minute to grab 5 CDs to listen to in the fallout shelter during the duration. Only 5. Which 5 do you grab?
Oh,
These are the pain, like the groaners.
It's
Like,
just getting worse now.
God damn it, Mark! Stop asking me questions.
So I got a minute. Okay. Can I do box sets?
Sure.
Okay, the Judas Priest full collection,
Okay.
Black Sabbath full collection, King Diamond full collection. That's like a cop out in it to do that.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Kind
No,
of
we,
cheating.
no,
You
it's
are
okay.
kinda
When
cheating.
we talked with Carl Sanders, we did like the top 5 desert island bands, and that's fine. It's nice to kind of gives you an idea about what you like, and that's cool, man.
Mhm.
You got 2 more box sets. Third time's ticking. The aliens are coming.
Okay, that box set and Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
I did not
interesting.
expect that one. That's pretty good.
Oh, cool.
Oh, audio's gone, man. Sorry.
Oh, we didn't hear that last part there.
I said that's why I said that, because you didn't expect it.
Okay, well, that's
Nice.
great. Well, I
Nice.
love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great, man.
So as far as music goes, like, are there any current bands out there that you're listening to, like newer bands, or are you old school all the way?
Man, I listen to all kinds of stuff all the time right now. I'll just some stuff that I'm listening to. The new Ginger stuff, I really dig, man. I like Ginger.
Yeah.
I'm listening. In my right now, in my CD player is Colored Sands by Guts. What else am I listening to? You want newer band?
Or even older bands that have current new albums out.
Yeah.
You could
Sure.
say the new Maiden album or something is. So yeah, just
I've been buying these just to plug holes in my collection. I just gotten down on digital downloads and stuff like that. One's in this hard drive, one's in this hard drive. I kind of like the CD. I just got Ziggy Stardust Spiders from Mars. I just got Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, because there's so many CDs that I just lost or whatever, that I just like to buy. I've been listening to a lot of Priest. Just talking about metal. I've been listening to a lot of jazz lately too, doing a lot of local gigs. Mostly I listen to music that I'm learning from my local gigs. I play in a country band, and I'm playing in a dance band.
Oh, nice.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to stay busy. King hasn't toured since 2019, so I'm just scheduled. My daughter's a little older now, so I can take a lot more gigs. So there's a lot of that.
And like, no matter what you play, it's fun. If you're a musician and you are playing something with a group of people,
Right.
you're gonna love it. It's gonna be a great time.
Uh-oh.
Usually.
Usually.
Oh,
yeah,
You're all breaking up,
Yeah.
man. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I think 99% of the time, yeah, it's fun. I say my bedtime was like 9, 10 o'clock because kids, are in school, and these gigs, if they go past 10 or 11, I start to it becomes work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes.
great.
Can relate.
Yeah.
Hey, excuse me. So, hey, Matt, besides Neil Peart, what are some of your other drumming influences that you think you kind of incorporate into your own style, or just really kept you pushing through? This is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to continue drumming and all these different kind of styles. So,
I think that if you've heard of them, they've influenced me. I've spent my life since I was 12 listening to everything I could, everybody I could. I mean, you name it. Everything from the fusion guys, Zappa drummers like Chad Wackerman and Carl Yuta and Bozio, and guys like Weckel. I love Simon Phillips. I think is amazing. I recently I just got the remaster of Rage for Order, and it just reminded me how much I love Scott Rockenfield and influence he was on me, and Alex Van Halen and Bill Ward and all these guys, obviously John Bonham. I mean, you name it, man. it's always been such a tough question for me to name like top bands or top influences because there's just so many. Everyone that I think of,
Yeah.
just 40
True.
more terrible injustice to by not saying their name. You know,
Right.
dude, that's a big CD collection behind you.
That's just one wall.
Yeah. Yeah, and early guys like Buddy Rich and Tony Williams and Elvin Jones and all those guys like Art Blakey and Philly Joe Jones and going all the way back to Gene Krupa. I'll just go on all day, you know. I mean,
Right.
Well, I appreciate it because it is a tough question, especially if you ask a guitar player what's their top guitarist, you know, or their top influence. And you know, for me, I mean, I play guitar. Tony Iommi, you know, that's the one that really got me into it. And then but I admire and respect so many of them, and there's hundreds of thousands, obviously. Vic can even attest to that. So yeah, it's an
Right.
honest answer, and I appreciate that because yeah, it is a difficult question to answer for anyone.
and I have to say that like a lot of my biggest influences aren't even drummers. You know, like now that you say that, like there's instrumentalists that have influenced my drumming greatly. You know, like I would have to say Frank Zappa.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because of his drummers and his just the way he made music, heard it, and you know it's just so inspiring. You know, like a lot of these guys like like Dave Gilmour, Brian May come to mind. You know, like you just hear the excellence of these guys and it makes you want to practice. You know, you want to be part of that world. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So kind of
That's
along
good.
those lines, I got another groaner of a question. If you could collaborate with a musician or band, past or present, who would you pick? Who would you love to collaborate with or play drums for?
Zappa's the one that leaps out. Geddy Lee. Ian Anderson.
Oh, nice.
I mean, these are just the ones that are jumping in my head.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's an eclectic group. Zappa. There's that combine, you know, jazz and
I
orchestra.
think
That's crazy good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say if Dave Gilmour and Roger Waters ever decide to reunite, I hope that they would call me.
Yeah,
Nice.
that'd
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
yeah,
that'd be
because
cool,
Nick
man.
Mason's doing his own thing. You
Mhm.
know,
Uh,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be something else.
Oh, that's great. Great.
Nice.
You know, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit here. I mean, since all of Diamond's music is full of, you know, horror and that kind of thing, and we are heavy metal horror, I'd like to ask you, like, are you into horror as well? Do you like horror movies? And if so, can you tell us some of the your favorite horror movies or movies that scared you as a kid, or anything?
One word. Wamageddon.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Wamageddon.
Wamag-
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
I do love. I love Prime and Netflix. I love just going through it and seeing all these movies that I haven't seen. I love the B movie explosion that's happened in the last, you know, Sharknado has triggered like explosion of schlock horror that I love. It must be so fun to be on these sets. I do love horror. I like. I'm not gonna say I don't like it, but I tend to try to stay away from the shock stuff. Like modern horror movies, they rely a lot on like a jump scare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like psychological thing. Like Alien is my favorite out of that series.
Oh,
Psychological.
very good.
I love movies like Seven and that kind of thing, man. That just kind of are twisted. I love The Green Inferno. That's recent. I love loved the Swedish one about
Midsommar.
yeah, yeah, God, that was so cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that, like the original kind of horror, you know, that
Yeah.
make a statement. I love. I love the classics. I love zombie genre. Every sort of zombie genre. I loved. Oh, geez, what was the Z Nation? Did you see Z Nation? I love. I just thought they did such a great job with that, and you know, and all the way like I love 28 Days Later and Resident Evil. You know, first one anyway. Yeah, yeah. What can I say? If it's good, I like it. You know.
Have you had a
Cool.
chance to see the Ritual?
No, I haven't. I haven't. And
That's
I
good.
know it's recommended to me. I need to see that.
Yeah, and Midnight Mass is also very good if you haven't
Yeah.
seen that as well.
What I just watched was the Lighthouse.
Oh,
I don't know if
Lighthouse,
that's-
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would consider it a horror movie. It's you know, mostly your imagination is they.
Yeah, it's
say-
psychological horror.
Yeah, it's like really kind of like yeah, no psychological.
Yeah, and it's beautifully shot, and it's a tour de force. I mean, you got Willem Dafoe and Pattinson. I mean, the two of these guys. That's all. That's really all you get. You know, and there's no room for wiggle room because even the camera is boxed in. You are right in there. You know, so yeah, that's a really good movie.
Right in there when he's going to town on that mermaid thing statue, Little Mermaid. Oh, I gotta get busy. Got that mermaid chess piece or whatever he finds.
That's not Defoe does a great job, man. It's like an Edgar Allan Poe thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How they-
Oh, sorry, man.
you guys freeze up. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're freezing up.
Totally froze there.
Sorry, man. It might be my end. Let me see. No, I don't know. I'm okay. Guys still there? Okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
here.
we're still
Yeah.
We are here. So since you mentioned, you know, your Netflix and Prime and stuff, what are you streaming? What are you watching now? Anything good?
Yeah. You know, I'm slugging my way through Squid Game.
And we've all watched that.
Yeah.
All watched Squid Game.
All right. It's too much downtime.
Okay.
And a movie that I just watched recently, I would say 3 or 4 months ago, that I didn't know about. That it to me is a horror movie just as much as a war movie. It's something called Come and See. Have you guys seen this? Heard about this movie?
Oh,
Mm-mm.
Man, you want to watch something horrific. It's about I love war movies. You know, I seek out war movies too because they, to me, those genres kind of overlap. War is so horrible that
mhm.
Right, yeah.
it's about the Eastern Front. It's about Belarus and the partisans and how they kind of fought off the Nazis, you know, as they swept through Belarus. It's freaking brutal and horrible, complete horror movie. The sound in it, the sound design, like the first horrible thing that happens is the main character, him and his friend killed. That they're in the middle of a Nazi shelling, and they used real ordnance for this movie. Like they used real shells, real ammo, and the animals really die, and the actors had bullets whizzing over.
Wow.
Wow. It's a Russian movie, you know, and they didn't have a strong union because like those actors really went through hell to make this movie. And so the first thing that happens is he gets shelled, and then like his hearing goes, and all he hears, and that's all you hear, you know, for like maybe the first 15-20 minutes of this movie, and like just the horror sequences while this is going on, hard-hitting movies I've ever seen.
Wow.
Completely recommend it.
Is that on Netflix?
Feel nothing. No, I don't know. You know, I had to watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
There's a full. You got to watch subtitles. Make sure you don't watch an English dub version of it.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it stays with you for a long time. It'll make you embarrassed. In '86, Red Dawn came out, and it's just embarrassing compared to this movie.
Yeah, Red Dawn, classic.
Yeah.
It is. I love it, putting in screens, but as
Right.
far really joke.
So other than when you're not touring, you haven't been touring for a while, and I know you're getting up for that, but like other than watching movies, like what other kinds of things do you do for fun, to unwind, like your normal day? Like are there other hobbies that you like to pursue? I know you said you'd like to read, but are there other things that you enjoy doing?
Well, yeah, I practice when during the school day when the school I practice. That's mostly what I like to write music. I put out a couple albums, concept albums, but it's like not EDM, but it's kind of like electronic reggae, and it's a story farm animals taking over a seed ship. So it's kind of like schlock, comedy, horror, like a mixture of a bunch of stuff. If you want to check that out, it's called New Pigs of Future City. The newest album I put out is called Under Guidance of Chickens.
Nice.
Nice.
Great.
Oh,
We
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's his story of how the farm animals, like in the farming sector of this gargantuan seed ship, the humans kind of got sucked out, and the animals were left on their own, and they were eating mushrooms over a period of thousands of years, and they developed lobes and
Man, it's like Animal Farm on acid.
On shrooms.
That's great.
something like that. But yeah, we have 4 kids, so my include dishes and laundry.
Yes, also
Rock and
can
roll.
relate.
Rock and roll
It's
lifestyle.
a rock and roll lifestyle.
on.
Time to do the dishes.
Yep.
That's why you're so happy to get back on the road, right? No more dishes for 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's great, man. I think we can do one more spinning of the big wheel. We got the random. We got the
You're gonna put
random
him through it
question.
again.
Yeah, this is much easier. It's just a random question. Let me see if I can find it. Just a random question generator. All right.
Okay, what fun are we in store for now?
Well, that's what I'm gonna try and share it here. All right. Oh, okay. Can you see the big wheel?
The big wheel, there it is.
All right. This is just gonna be a random question.
Okay.
We're gonna see what this wheel says. All right. Oh, your first childhood memory. There we go.
First,
Well,
If you could remember, if not, that's fine too.
well, I mean, there's got to be something there.
Yeah.
Child memory.
still see your screen, Mark.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta stop sharing.
Montag.
There we go.
There we go.
We saw all the porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, you found me out.
Talk about horror movie. Oh,
Sorry.
My first childhood memory was in upstate New York, where we lived. I was born in Baltimore, and then we moved to Fredonia, New York, and I lived there till I was 5. So I remember to be there. And I think it's in my living room in our house on Leverett Street in Fredonia. And I kind of remember the shadow TV, and that's about as detailed as I can get. Sorry, man.
No, that's fine. It was breaking up the whole time. I'm sorry.
It was shag carpeting, right?
Yeah, shag carpet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that. It ties into what we
Look
were
at
talking
you.
about earlier.
Yeah,
it's
Vic-
wild, man. There's
Comes
weird,
all-
weird things happening now.
yeah.
Wow. All right. That's good.
Hey.
Hey, does anyone have any more questions for Matt? We really, really appreciate you spending some time with us, Matt. Us getting to
Thank
know
you.
you, and we're really, really looking forward to seeing you guys back on the road, and we just thank you for being on our show.
Thanks, man. Having me. It
Yeah,
was fun.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you, Matt.
Would you mind doing a little bumper for us? Like, this is Matt Thompson at King Diamond, and you're listening to or watching Heavy Metal Horror. Would that be too much to ask?
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay, great.
Just that. Okay. Are you ready?
Ready.
This is Matt Thompson from King Diamond, and you're listening to Heavy Metal Horror.
Excellent. Thank you so
Perfect.
much. Yeah.
And it got
Thank
through
you.
without chopping. It didn't break up or anything. So perfect.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
I was worried.
Fantastic.
That's an
Hey.
honor, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. I'm gonna do some commercial here, and then we're gonna do our outro. And please join us in when we say Heavy Metal Horror in the horns. So you're more than welcome to do that with us. So you can find Heavy Metal Horror on unsaneradio.com. Listen to full episodes or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. Our brand new YouTube page. Well, it's not brand new now. If you're watching, you're there. Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you know someone who'd like our show, tell them about us. So this has been Montag, Master of Illusion.
And Chop Top.
Dreadbull.
Wildcard.
And you've been listening to and watching Heavy Metal Horror. Oh, excellent.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Oh, Matt, thank you so much, man. We have
Thank you,
had a
sir.
blast
Thank
with
you.
you. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. When we come through Cleveland, man, hit me up.
Oh, totally.
That would be
All right, that would
fantastic.
do.
Yeah.
Get
That
you some swag.
Some
Yeah,
heavy
we-
metal horror swag. You can get
Yeah,
some stickers.
we've got some stickers, man. We'll send you some stickers.
Put it on your drum kit.
Yeah, run on the
Yeah.
run on the bass head. Something
Right.
like
Yeah, exactly.
that.
This is Doug Helbring, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.